16 points to 6. They went 6-0 down early in the piece, but 3 unanswered tries. They've really wrestled control of this game, and they take the lead into the break. A little update from around the grounds. We've also got our Auckland Vulcans women's team who are contesting the national tournament today. They've just gone through their first game. We'll endeavour to bring you an update of the score in that one. Some interesting players lining up for the Vulcans this year. Some Kiwi Ferns experience. When you look at the likes of Lorena Papali'i, mother of current New Zealand Warriors forward Isaiah Papali'i, she's in the squad, along with TJ Noble-Bell, Annabelle Hohepa as well in there. So some real experience there, joining some good young talents as well. And we can tell you from the first game of the day up against Canterbury, the Auckland Vulcans have had a 16-0 win, so they've ground out one there against Canterbury. Lorena Papali'i, a real standout in that one, 4 line breaks. So the Vulcans off to a good start. They finished 4th at the tournament last year, so a positive start there for the Auckland Vulcans women's team, coached by Frank Foimoano, an experienced Auckland club coach as well. Spent a number of years at Richmond, took the Richmond women's team last year in the Farrelly Photos Women's Premiership. This year involved with the Northcote Tigers in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership setup. So we'll bring you updates and match reports throughout the day from the Auckland Vulcans and their happenings across town at Cornwall Park. The Vulcans set down to play against Wellington later today at 2:30 p.m. Tomorrow they take on the defending champions Counties Manukau. Going to be an interesting clash there. Tuila Fotumoala is going to come up against her little sister in the Vulcans team. But a huge clash to see where the Auckland Vulcans are at. Speaking to Annabelle Hohepa midweek, she said, "We back our forward pack to beat anyone. We're going to take it to them, even that representative-laden Counties Manukau pack." So keep an eye on aucklandleague.co.nz. We'll have updates throughout the weekend from the Vulcans and how they're doing. In the meantime, I'm going to welcome Troy Hardy back into the commentary box. Well, Troy, an interesting first half. It was all Toa Samoa for the first probably 25 minutes, but then the Auckland Māori were able to complete a couple of sets and then off the back of it found some tries.
Absolutely, yeah. As you rightly said, you know, those first, definitely the 20-25, it was all Toa Samoa. They were, you know, attacking the line. They had back-to-back sets, you know, Auckland Māori scrambling on the line, holding them out. And for the scoreline to be where it's sitting at the moment, 16-6, I think the Auckland Māori coaches will be absolutely, you know, pleased and excited that they're at that try line. At that try score.
And they had to do it the tough way. They had to defend a lot of sets up against their goal line, particularly some of the big bodies that Toa Samoa have got.
I'm going to own up, Corey. I've been sitting here eating my Fritz Wiener. You know I've been sitting there eating my Fritz Wiener, and he's welcomed me back in. But, you know, if you're down here at the ground, or even if you're not down here, you have to come down here, support the game today, and get yourself one of these things. They're fantastic. Okay, I'm back.
Fritz Wiener will send you the invoice for the advert later this week, but not long now until we resume play here at Mount Smart Stadium. We are building a course towards the big one, ladies and gentlemen. Auckland up against the Tonga New Zealand residents, and while our live stream coverage today will be extensive, there's nothing like being here, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are sitting at home weighing up whether to come down or not, get down here. There's gate sales at Gate B. Tickets from as low as $6, $24 gets a family pass, 3 kids and 2 adults, but there's nothing like being here, Troy, and once the Sea of Red arrives, boy, it's going to be a great atmosphere down here.
Absolutely, and look, you know, but we've been working on this for the past really 6 weeks, where we've got intensity around our campaign and getting the, you know, the message out there, whether it be through social media or the live streaming coming up to kick-off today. And one thing that struck me, especially in the last week or so, the passion around the Tongan boys, you know, and them getting ready and talking to Dwayne Mann and what it meant to his family. And, you know, those guys, you know, and from 1986, we've got the first ever captain, Mick Curran, who's coming on board, as you know, as the major sponsor for this game. And we'll catch up with Mick as the sponsor a wee bit later on today. And last night I was fortunate enough to go down to see the Auckland Rugby League team train. Now, for all the old Carlaw Park diehards, got to throw that one in there. From all the people, you know, when we go back to the 80s, the 70s, early 90s, when you think about the Auckland Rugby League team and what that meant, you know, in some of those eras, those Auckland teams were undefeated. They were just, you know, legends of legacy, and just so proud and privileged to be here today to see the Auckland Rugby League team back. Just fantastic.
And it's so important to remember just how, I guess, prestigious that Auckland honour is. Of course, back in the day, sometimes, Troy, you've mentioned this to me a few times, it was actually harder to make the Auckland team than it was the Kiwis team. Such was the talent available to us. And if you look through some of the players who actually never earned an Auckland cap back in the day, some really talented players.
Oh, absolutely.
So a real key thing to, I guess, respect the history of that jersey. And of course, we've got some cool little links today. Jethro Friend's going to be taking the field for the Auckland representative team. His dad, Clayton, played for Auckland in the 80s. Troy, you'd probably be able to tell us a little bit about that, but I know Clayton is extremely proud.
Yeah, absolutely. And knowing Clayton, he's a modest and humble man. He'll be here today to watch his son, and I think it'll be a very proud moment, for him to watch Jethro run out in the Auckland colours. Auckland, you can hear the PA in the background. Auckland Rugby League is, to really understand that and to look back, over the time that's passed. 77, for instance, undefeated.
Unbelievable.
France,
yeah.
Australia, England, and this is, the Auckland city side. Clayton Friend, you've touched on, those boys toured in 86. They beat Wigan. That was Lowy's club. There's just so much talent, so much that was here and passion around the jersey, and it's just so great to see it back here today up against the Tonga New Zealand residents. And the kick-off, Corey, we're underway.
So we are back, and it is going to be the leaders, the Auckland Maori under 20 with first use of the ball. If you are just joining us, we do apologise for the jersey clash, but I can tell you it is the Auckland Maori who are in possession. They have the green stripe across the front there. So a couple of real standouts through that first half, Troy. In the halves for the Auckland Maori under 20, Casey Smith, we saw him split the line early, but he's also controlled play well. Yeah,
and I think he's created a couple of opportunities as well. Every time he's touched the ball, he's got their defence, second guessing. So I expect to see another strong 40 minutes from him, definitely.
Speaking of standouts, this man changed the game when he came onto the field. Tuki Kamanapo came on, got a quick play the ball for the first try, had a couple of really telling runs, and there we go, earns another penalty here for his team. So I think his enthusiasm off the bench as well, super important. Toa Samoa, well, they've had some players doing some really good things as well. I thought Johnny Falilu-Amalio, the dummy half, was really sharp in the first half. Had a couple of good runs there. And also the big fellas in the middle of the park, Tamua and Lenny Nimea in his first stint, really effective as well. Now the Auckland Māori team into good ball situation, looking to pile on further points here. Drave Roberts is the dummy half. Heads out towards the left edge now. Paki, Rangi dummies, tackled well one-on-one, and they get there in numbers. Toa Samoa. They're 10 out from the line here, the Māoris. Paki darts. Paki, he's going to go pretty close here. U20vv Gerard getting in low to prevent a fourth Auckland Māori try. Now they spin play back towards the middle of the park. A settler from Hoani Rogers-Brown.
Trying to get some shape out here on the right.
Dominant tackle there from Leo Sevi, slows things down. Smith now gets to his kick, but scooped up beautifully. Good field positioning there from Emmanuel U20vv Gerard. 17 years of age, this kid, super impressive. He's already played first division footy. Good carry out of trouble there from Siave Tupo, the Mangere East junior, now playing his footy at Richmond. Now Siave was actually named in the Auckland team earlier this week. So we see a great run here from Setutu, who's now into open space. The chase is coming from the Auckland Māori. Are they going to get there? I don't think they are. Hands on him up top. What a chase. They reel him in. It's Malisala who gets there for the tackle. Now they want to quick play the ball. They head out to this left edge now. Tavita gets the offload away. They come back to the middle of the park. What about this defence from the Auckland Māori under 20s? Samoa now putting all sorts of pressure on. They spin play back to the middle of the park. Makatoa, ball spills loose, it's going to be a knock on. Take your hat off, Auckland Māori. It looked for all money like Setutu was going to run all the way in there, but the chase from Uenguku, Malisala reels him in. And at the end of it all, we've got an error from Toa Samoa, player down and back play as well.
An opportunity squandered there. They were certainly pressing hard on the line. Indication the clock stopped the clock.
Just mentioning Troy before we were interrupted by the line break, Siave Tupou, now he was named to take the field for the Auckland Premier team. Eventually decided that he wanted on this occasion to represent his culture, and of course, you know, you can't help but I guess feel for him having to make that decision between playing in the main game for Auckland. But culture so important to these boys. But what a young talent he is. We saw him a couple of times for Mangere East last year. This year playing for Richmond in what is a pretty star-studded backline. And it was his carry that got things going there that time.
You see Arden McCarthy out there in the middle of the park as the trainer for Toa Samoa, and giving the boys a wee bit of guidance. Probably just tell them to have a wee bit more patience, calm things down. They were pushing it out there onto the edge, and there was definitely a try on. Just the last part of the, I suppose, the execution of catch and pass going astray, and the clock's now back on.
I still don't know how they didn't score there, Toa Samoa. It was one of those ones where the Auckland Maori, I think, only had probably 2 or 3 guys back by the time they got to play the ball. Perhaps just took the wrong option. Roberts now back to the middle of the park. Good line speed, though, from Toa Samoa. They get up in the face of Taylor Polder. Struggling to get Toamiti to the ground. Just inside their own 40 here, the Auckland Maori. Smith gets to the kick. That is from inside. The Toa Samoa back
Good
three. Back. Tomovavi Gerard. Dummies. Returns serve. Another good carry forward. The outside back's doing some damage here for Toa Samoa. Troy, you know, you have to keep reminding yourself that we're calling on a 20s game here. Some of these boys and the way that they are fully developed really in their bodies. There's some giant humans out there as we see Setu 2 again testing the line. But boy, there are some giant humans out there. And I guess the other aspect of it, we have so many young players playing in the Fox these days. These boys aren't only big, but they're tough.
Absolutely, and they're getting, you know, oh, he managed to pull it back in. Attack here on the left edge.
Tupou now dinks the little ball in over the top. They've recovered it here, Toa Samoa. Offload happy. They get to the kick eventually. The chaser's non-existent, but there's no fullback back for the Auckland Maori. That's going to be a knock-on from Toa Samoa. Tumu Makara knocks it on, but there were a chance there because Wairangi had come up into the line. Instead, it will be an Auckland Maori feed.
Welcome in if you've just joined us as well. You'll be picking up a wee bit of the audio referee from our live stream partners Ctas, and to all of our viewers around the South Pacific Islands and of course across the globe. Live streaming on aucklandleague.co.nz.
So Casey Smith feeds the scrum, and back underway now, the Auckland Maori hunting further points here. A little offload at the line. Rangi now gets onto the ball. He was keen for another offload. Tavita flops in to slow things down.
Oh,
big contact there in the middle on.
Could have been bigger too if he had collected full body into that. So he probably got away lightly.
At the back now, Paki. Again, he's going to run it.
Great footwork.
They get their numbers though. Slam them to the ground. So they're bullying them in the middle of the park a little bit now, are the Auckland Maori. They've really got the advantage in that middle battle. Smith now looks to the skies. It's a high one at the back. Tomovavi Gerard under it. Clean as. Beautiful take from Tomovavi Gerard. Tupou now jumps into dummy half. So the error there, just short of halfway. scrum to pack down. Will be a Toa Samoa feed. Tupou trying to get to quick play of the ball. Instead, it's a slow one. Tomavavi Gerard gets on the end of it, though. It might not matter. Spotted a little gap there, Tomavavi Gerard. It was a heads-up play to dart out. 35 out from the line. Afareti. Caleb Ueli, first touch of the ball in the game for Caleb Ueli, who's still fighting. He's taken down 30 out from the line. A little bobble in there. It's going to be a mistake. So a few errors now starting to creep into this one here. Just joined us, we are in the curtain raiser at the 2018 Upright Access Man Cup, Auckland versus Tonga, New Zealand residents to come. A little update from the National Women's Tournament as well. The Auckland Vulcans 16-0 winners in their first up game against Canterbury. So the Vulcans off to a winning start in that one as well. Just reeled in around the legs there from Rangi. Does well to scoop it up. Roberts now gets on the end of a quick play. The ball looks up. He can see that they're not back. Plays at the line now. Brings Tutaki into the action. 40 off the line now, the Auckland Maori. Pucky on the ball to Smith. Smith ducks back inside. Last tackle coming up. Pucky goes high, but it's a poor kick. It's gone backwards. And it's well taken at the back by Malutoa, who's told to go back and play the ball. Setutu goes to the line. Spent last year with Mangere East. Back at Otahuhu this year, playing under John Auckland. A number of Otahuhu boys playing in this one. Caleb Ueli. Quick play the ball now. Falilua Malio back on the park. Is he the man to change the game here for Toa Samoa? Liao Sevi to Tavita. Tavita, the kick is scrappy. It's scooped up out wide by Setutu, who kicks back in field. Rangi's back to clean it up. And the Auckland Māori survive another one. Good work from Rangi at the back. Marisala comes looking for some work. Descendant of Maniapoto. Tui Pompey scored a try in the first half. We haven't seen a lot of him. Outside of that is Tutaki. Comes back on for his second stint. Pretty effective in his first one. Rangi, kick from inside. Toa Samoa are up to it. Setutu back to collect. Returns the ball. 40 off his line. So we're back into a bit of a grind in this one here, Troy. We saw both teams enjoy periods of dominance in the first half, but fairly even so far. Just waiting for someone to crack it open.
Yeah, I think you sort of touched on, is it Johnny, the hooker for Toa Samoa? He certainly changed the rhythm when he came on. He's looking pretty sharp. Here he comes now. I think he had great ruck speed out of that dummy half, and certainly looks dangerous every time he touches the ball.
Last tackle coming up. Toa Samoa, do they look to the sky? Tavita instead goes along the ground, but again, great positioning at the back. Wyatt Rangi.
Yeah, he's done a good job in tidying up out the back there after that missed earlier pick one in the first half. Got a bit of confidence back.
Good carry forward there. Hits it at pace, does Ma'afu Roberts. Another of the try scorers in the first half.
Looks like little U20 put him down on the deck.
And little U20's actually not that little, is he? A giant of a human being. Shout out to the U20 family. Big brother Braden playing over in Australia with the Cronulla Sharks. Dad Ross, part of the coaching staff, I understand, here today for Toa Samoa. Another good take from U20vv Gerard. Boy, he's a classy kid, isn't he, at the back?
Yeah, he's been busy too, eh? The ball's been in his vicinity for most of the game.
He's a representative for Akarana at under-17s level. Tutaki there, digging the shoulder in. Liao Sevi, who has been a constant force for Samoa in this one. Nemia's back onto the field. He was the best man on the park for the first 20 minutes. Can he turn things in Toa Samoa's favour? Tavita now looks to the sky. At the back, a nice clean take though by Malisala. And they're going to get a penalty at the end of it as well. So you get the feeling, Troy, Toa Samoa maybe getting a little bit frustrated here now. They're struggling to find a way through after enjoying a lot of dominance in the first half.
Yeah, and I think too, as the sort of clock wears on, that frustration will probably, you know, compound. Good crowd gathering down here for Queen's birthday weekend at Mount Smart number 1. Dummy half. The old fake it dummy half. Bernard Perenara will know that one. I think we watched that with a John Auckland Classic a couple of weeks back where they did the fake it dummy half.
Yeah, we did indeed. Yeah, it's good to see those tricks from years gone by make a return. I think that time perhaps not so intentional. I think the dummy half just wasn't quite ready.
He tricked himself.
Roberts spins the ball now to Smith. Casey Smith now, ball in both hands, looking for the offload. Holds on to it. Roberts now gets onto a quick play of the ball. Dre Roberts now into a little bit of space. Ragdoll to ground. Last tackle coming up. Scoreless second half so far. He's felt that one as well. Has Roberts.
They wanting to put pressure on him.
Falilua Malia gets to Tavita. But it's cleanly taken at the back by Setutu, who centralises. Looking for the offload. Decided to hold on to it that time. A number of these boys will have come up against each other throughout the years through the college competition. The likes of Dylan Tavita and Johnny Falilua Malio clashing as part of St. Paul's and Kelston respectively. Nemia here with a good carry forward. U20, the freshest legs on the park at this stage. Saved him until midway through the second half. There's going to be a penalty at the end of it. Kick for touch. Tamua back on the field now. Breaks the first one. Been fairly well contained considering so far. Falilua Malio now jumps out of dummy half. Looking for support. Hands it off. Tamua again. Jacob Tamua driving the legs, but they're there in numbers. Auckland Maori, are they? Go back and play the ball. A close call that time. Spin it up the back now. Big
He just goes
U20.
straight in the same place.
Now they're getting back to their power game. U20 close. Over the line, but put onto his back. Tavita goes to the line. Dylan Tavita, he's not going to need anyone. Dylan Tavita's going to step his way through. And that is the first points of the second half. Let's take a look on the upright access. Instant replay here. And after a couple of powerful carries forward, that time by U20.
Looked like they were shaping up to go left, weren't they? And he said, no, I'm doing this myself.
You see there, throws the dummy and then just steps back and there's just no one there. And they can't get across quick enough to cover.
I'm so thankful that wasn't my phone, Corey. Great try. Well done. Just we clear that. We're multitasked down here in the old commentary office. Waiting for the kick to come right out in front. And dare I say this is going to be a piece of cake. Although I did see... No, I'm not even going to go there, Corey.
Let's wait till the flags are up, which they are. So 4-point ball game. 22 minutes to play here at Mount Smart Stadium. We're counting down to the big one. The Upright Access Man Cup. Auckland taking on the Tonga New Zealand residents. But right now we've got a thriller on the cards in the curtain raiser. What a game it's been so far. And with that try, Toa Samoa have put themselves right back in the mix. Casey Smith gets us back underway. Long one down towards the south end here now. Begueli's winding up. Look out. Straight back into the heart. And gets the penalty at the end of it. That's a great carry from the young man. And they know it too, Toa Samoa. Look at Whalilua Malio there. Straight in for the pat on the head. They know how big that is. Momentum now. Firmly with Toa Samoa. Can they keep building on it?
Another big runner.
Tambua. He's got half the Auckland Maori team on top of him. Eventually they take him to ground. The crowd now starting to get into this one as well. U20vv. Another penalty. They're on the ropes here, the Auckland Maori. Johnny Whalilua Malio taps and goes now, looks up. There's a staggered line in front of him. He's only 5 out from the line now, the Mount Albert Lion. Tavita jumps out of dummy half, plays short to Nemea. The man who opened the scoring inside the first 10 minutes. U20vv.
Could be on.
Tamua. Haven't they done a job on him today, Jacob Tamua? He's been involved heavily, but the Auckland Maori have got there in numbers and done the job. Tavita. Now they spin it out wide. Short ball at the line, up and in defence, and they've done well, the Auckland Maori. They've survived it. And that time it was a good tackle from Tuhi Pompey, I think, that forced the error in the end. So right on the hour mark, the game sitting precariously in the balance. And both teams, I think, grateful for a bit of a rest here.
The momentum swung both ways throughout the course of this match. And it looks like Toa Samoa sort of back in with a little bit of foot on the accelerator here. And they'll want to try and keep Auckland Maori down inside their half. So I'll be looking for a strong set here of defence. Auckland Maori, however, they'll want to build some pressure now, maintain their advantage on the scoreboard.
And that'll help. Penalty there, Butler jumping out of dummy half, and the markers were never square. So Vangana gets the set going. The ball is stripped loose that time. And a bit of push and shove at the end of it, and some back chat, which is going to earn them another 10 metres. And now the tap and go is the call now. Casey Smith, look out.
Samoan language weak, and he was only sharing a bit of dialogue.
Great call.
Oh, he's split.
Broken through the initial one here. Ueli gets there just in time as Taylor Polder. Butler now at dummy half, looking both ways. They missed Tutaki. Juggled there from Paki, who reels it in. Has to surrender himself there, 15 out from the line. Wyatt Rangi. Hands play off to his loose forward, Caleb Pessi. They come into the right edge again. Rangi now dinks the little kick in behind. It's spilt. And I think at the end of it, we'll have a knock-on each way. So that should be Auckland Māori ball by way of a dropout, which it is.
Some of the big boys in the Samoa side will be thankful for a little bit of a breather here before they do a drop goal. Drop out, restart.
Use every second of the clock they can here because they are up against it right now. Tavita gets us back underway. Here comes Big Tutaki. He takes the field at Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup level with his dad, Matt. One of the real, I guess, stalwart families of that Bay Roskill club, the Tutaki family. Out the back they go. Taylor Polder, yet another carry. Butler. Smith, Casey Smith goes to the line. Casey Smith through. Casey Smith. And once again, just a heads-up play at the line, and Casey Smith splits them open. Let's take a look here on the upright access instant replay. And it starts with another carry forward by Taylor Polder, who leads the hit-up tally for the Auckland Māori. Off the back of it, Butler finds it to Smith, and then it's a heads-up play. Carries the ball in two hands here, gives himself so many options, but it's a tired defensive line, Troy.
Split two, went straight through. And I mean, more does I want to say deserving. You know, he's been busy all day. He's had a class day today out there, and great try. Well done.
So Smith to also attempt the conversion from just to the right of the uprights here at Mount Smart Stadium. He's an interesting story, is Casey Smith, playing for the Northcote Tigers this year. He's come across from Takapuna Rugby. He's also part of the Warriors development system here. Played some representative stuff with North Harbour Rugby as well, but he's a real talent. We saw him in the centres for Northcote, but boy, he looks a good prospect in the half, doesn't he? Particularly the way he's able to take that ball to the line.
Yeah, he's certainly had an impressive day today, and he's looked really comfortable. He's shown a lot of time on the ball, which has given him options, and, you know, to split the defence like he just did on that one, fantastic.
Smith steps in, and over it goes to give his team a 10-point lead with 15 minutes to go. How important will that try be, or do Toa Samoa have some life left in them yet? I know one thing for sure, those big forwards in this Toa Samoan team, they're going to fire up here. Ueli off, a short stint for him, but pretty effective in his time on the park. Back into it now, Tutaki takes the ball forward. And a real credit to this Auckland Māori middle unit, because they were fairly well dominated, it's fair to say, through the first probably 25 minutes of this game, but then really stood up and have taken it to Toa Samoa, who have been very strong through the middle of the park as well. A little bit of cramp there for Tāne Paki. They get to their kick. Rangi, it's a long kick. It might be a 40-20 if Tuamavavi Gerard doesn't get there. He does. His field positioning has been spot on today, Tuamavavi Gerard. Very impressive at the back of the field for Toa Samoa. False start on the play of the ball there. A little exchange between the players there as well. You can see some of the big boys blowing pretty hard out there. It has been a brutal match in the middle of the park, and it's still Tāne Paki who's down in back play. Looked to have cramped up pretty badly, and he's writhing around in all sorts of pain. So you have to wonder if he's going to be able to continue here. It did look like it was cramp rather than a serious issue of any kind. You can see to the left of your shot, he's getting some medical treatment just over halfway.
Just picked up Cody Walker out here, and one of the assistant coaches looks like he's going to pull him from the game. He just wants to bring him off.
So
maybe
a change forthcoming by the looks of things.
Yeah. Maybe they want to maintain the momentum that they've built up for this one.
So time pauses as we deal with the situation at hand. Pucky back up to his feet. Jogs it off. He's still walking a little. He's still
Cramp?
still in plenty of pain. I've got our camera panning across to him now, and he's going to have to go off. Whatever that is, he's in all sorts of trouble here as Tane Pucky. Chaz Brown leading him off the field now, so we've got a force change coming up here for the Auckland Maori under 20, and with 10 minutes to go, 13 to go with a 10-point lead. It's going to be Dre Roberts who comes on to fill the void at halfback. So back underway we go. Setu 2 plays at the line.
It's all on out here. No, they've decided to go back inside.
Pumping carry forward there by Lemafa. The starting prop rotation back on the field. Philip Makatoa, Mangere East boy. Now they come out to the edge, and Tavita kicks through. Was he taken out in back play? Yes, he was. Penalty coming up. Tavita goes to the line, gets the penalty, wants a quick tap. Referee Barker Pringle says slow down.
They'll be wanting to build something off this.
Huge few minutes coming up for Toa Samoa now. 12 and a half minutes to go. Tamua. Will they stick to the middle, or will they try their luck on the edges? We really haven't seen them spread the ball a lot, Toa Samoa. They've been determined to stick to the power game. They believe that's where their strength lies. Will coach Ming Mafoi change tact now as Nimia drives towards the line? Auckland Māori have been fantastic on their line for the majority of this game. Falilua Malio jumps out of dummy half. Not that time. Johnny Falilua Malio just catches him napping. And ladies and gentlemen, we have got a game on our hands.
Upright access replay here. And sort of touched on Johnny when he first came back on into the second half. You know, he always looked like he was going to be dangerous. Certainly got a different wee bit of speed around him, and, you know, basically summed this up really quickly. Look how many guys are actually on the ground. You can see what the defenders count is there. And, you know, big opportunity. So looking for a quick play the ball. Here it is. Throws the dummy, bump and spin. And pretty much, you know, over the line, nice and easy. 4 points on the board.
Yeah, heads up play there from Falilua Malio, and the conversion in the background while we've been watching the replay is good. So 4-point ball game. 11 minutes to play at Mount Smart Stadium.
Yeah, there's a bit of passion starting to happen now down here on the sideline with the coaching staff.
So how good is this? What a curtain raiser to the 2018 Upright Access Man Cup. Auckland versus Tonga, New Zealand residents to come.
General Manager of the Auckland Rugby League, Greg Firepoo, down here just having a closer look at the Auckland Maori team as they get ready to reset.
So Xavier Tutaki making his way to the sideline. Wonderful couple of stints from Tutaki. Very strong in the middle of the park. One of many very strong Auckland Māori forwards now. Tomovavi Gerard picks it up, and here comes Makatoa. Straight back into it.
I think this is all going to fire up now, Corey.
Mulutoa. Setu, you get the feeling that he could be the man to split this one open. He's had some really classy touches when he's come in field looking for work.
Big settle.
Nimia, the Point Chevalier Pirate. Falilua Malio gets another quick play. The ball here. Falilua Malio is off to the races. Taken down low. Butler finishes in over the top. Liao Sevi to Tavita. who dinks one over the top. The chase is good. Courageous take, though, at the back from Malisala. Gets up high. Taken the ground
Strong
by
knee.
Tamua, and they give away the penalty, and here we go.
Hang on. Yeah, bit of passion there. Everyone's sort of calming it down, but certainly a great passage of play. Greg loves that. He's in front. He's no way there. There he goes. Referee's calming them all down.
And I'll just add, Troy, while we're in a bit of a break, hasn't this game been superbly officiated by the officials? They've let it run. They've kept it in check, though, in terms of the emotion, and it's been fantastic rugby league. So shout out to our match officials here who are about to give a little lecture. We're going to join in on the audio on that one.
Well, I might pick up some of it. I was talking to Ctas, our live stream man upstairs, and one of the packs out there might have been beeping a little bit, but I'm pretty sure there's some noise coming through.
Nothing like a flat battery to cause a few issues on the day. So talking to there from referee Barker Pringle, penalty at the end of it to the Auckland Maori under 20, and this plays into their hands now. They can slow things down. Smith's going to kick for touch, and it's got to be at their tempo now. The Auckland Maori, they hold a narrow lead. And the crowd really starting to come into it. Now there's a good contact on Rogers Brown. Loose ball here now. It could be scooped up by Samoa. It's picked up by Smith. What's the call here?
Whoa.
It's going to be inside the 10, I think, is the call at the end of that. And the boys starting to really fire up here.
Yeah, he thought he was his own team player, I think, because he had a blue jersey on, handed him the ball, and he just kept walking back with it. Okay, so a little bit of patience now.
So calm heads will prevail here. Which side's it going to be? They need to calm things down here. Look for the likes of Casey Smith to be pretty influential in this set. Wyatt Rangi as well. Back into it we go. Ma'afu Roberts, the man charged with the first carry. Points here could do it for them. Smith goes to the line. No gap this time.
Auckland Maori will be wanting to try and close this out.
Must complete this set. That's the most important thing at this point. Taylor Polder. Smith again testing that line and just about getting through. Right up against the line here now. They swing it out the back door. Dre Roberts, the fill-in halfback for the time. Wyatt Rangi goes to the line. Testing, looking for a gap. Leo Sevi tackles him beautifully. He's done something to his hammy here, I think. Leo Sevi, he's down in back play. They play short at the line here now. Up under the ribs. What a shot there on big Kamanapo. And now we're going to have time off. There's a man down in back play.
We might be able to get an action replay on that one if we're lucky. No, let it ride.
In the meantime, Leo Sevi down in the back play in a little bit of discomfort here. He grabbed straight for the hammy, Troy. Not sure if that was cramp or something a little more sinister.
He's still not up yet. Toa Samoa will be happy for the little break and play here, just sort of break up the rhythm.
Just coming to a shot there, Willie Stowers, the man that's going to be charged with leading the attack for the Tonga New Zealand residents. He's going to be playing in honour of his grandma, Bessie Mann Stowers. Really nice story on aucklandleague.co.nz right now on that. Willie, a real veteran of the Auckland Rugby League club scene, went over to Australia, spent some time with the Illawarra Cutters. Back this year with Papakura. He's enduring a bit of a tough year, isn't he, Troy? With
he had a big day in the office last weekend.
Papakura, but back underway here. And we have got 7 minutes to play. It's all on the line here. Nemea. 4 points in it. Caleb Ueli, interesting to see after about a 5-minute break, is pacing the sidelines again. The big fella's ready to go again. Now Whanelo Malio's got on the end of it. He's been dynamic today, has the little number 9.
He has been fantastic.
Quick play the ball. He wants the penalty. Tavita, long kick. The chase is very good here from Toa Samoa. They need to be careful. Foot's on the line. What's that going to be? What's the calling going to be? This is crucial. I think it's going to be a Toa Samoa feed.
No. There's a wee bit of a challenge there from the trainer on the line.
Yep,
Wasn't
so it
happy
will
with
be
the tackle.
a Toa Samoa feed. The foot was on the line as he reeled it in. So here we go. It's about to get very, very interesting here at Mount Smart Stadium. 4 points the gap. Toa Samoa to start this set. 20 metres out from the line. Whalilua Malio, the man to feed the scrum. Plenty of pushing in that scrum as well. You can see he's not keen to feed it. Out they come here to this right edge, Jacob Tamoa. Still fighting Tamoa. He's going to stay on his feet and get to the quick play of the ball here. Whalilua Malio brings it back to Makatoa in the middle. Watch for the big bodies. There's plenty of them out there. A spin play on. Big Ueli. Gets the offload away as well now. Malutoa! He's got there! And it's Jacob Tuamakata, my apologies, who steps his way through. You can see here, gets the ball, shuffles play on initially, and then does really well, follows the play, and then from there, staggered line, the footwork will beat the last man, and over he goes. We've got a tied ball game, 4.5 minutes to play at Mount Smart Stadium. So kick to come for the lead. We are locked up, 22 points apiece. Dylan Tavita to attempt the conversion from just about right in front. He's a reliable goal kicker, this kid. We saw him in action for Point Chevalier a couple of weeks ago against the Maris Saints, and it was his kicking that won them the game in the end. In a 20-19 victory, Tavita kicked 2 from the sideline. Steps in. Kick is good. Toa Samoa lead for the first time since midway through the first half. It is the Samoan side with a narrow lead. Smith gets us back underway. Makatoa, the man to carry first for Toa Samoa. Have to be careful. Don't let the emotion get the better of you here. An error would be disastrous at this stage. Tamoa, he's flopped in on late. Whalilua Malio gets off a quick play of the ball. Another good run out of dummy half. Doing their best to slow it down here at Auckland. They themselves can't afford to give away a penalty. They shuffle play on now out towards the left edge. Tupou, 40 metres out from the line. The ball is promoted. Second phase stuff. And that's going to be a penalty to the Auckland Maori. Offload off the ground, I think, is the call. So 3 minutes to play. Smith's going to kick for touch. The Auckland Maori now are going to get their chance to reply. Pompey keen to get things back underway. Little juggle there from the Auckland Maori. Pucky back on the field. We saw him go off for a short break. He was suffering from what looked like pretty bad cramps earlier on. Jump out of dummy half, now they head down the short side. Now Rangi, hands play off. Good scramble defence from Samoa though. The ball pops out the back. That is cleaned up by Butler. Play still alive. Pucky now going to the line. Pucky dances his way through. Intelligently takes the tackle. Smith. Casey Smith goes to the line. Looking for options. Plays short. Ball popped out the back. Is that play on? Penalty's going to be the call, I think. We've got time off now. Referee Barker Pringle's going to have a quick chat. Cries of take the two from the sideline. Barker Pringle now giving a talking to Ueli and Dylan Tavita, who is desperately pleading his team's case. 2 minutes to go. So the discussion goes on, and Tavita's not letting it go. But in the meantime, remembering if this one does finish tied at full time, it will be a draw and honours shared in the curtain raiser to the Upright Access Man Cup. We're waiting to see what happens at the end of all this. A long talking to. Casey Smith's been down injured. The kicking tee is on the field, so Casey Smith is going to attempt the conversion to tie this game up. He's been accurate off the boot today, Casey Smith, but this one is on another level altogether. Game potentially on the line. Smith steps in. Good off the boot. We are tied up, ladies and gentlemen. 24 all. 1 minute to go. Is there more drama left in this one? The game will finish on a draw if scores are tied. And at this stage, honours are set to be shared. Tavita's going to go long. A high one down to the corner. Smith reels it in. Do they settle for the draw? Do they chance their arm here? The Auckland Maori have the game in their hands, a chance to win this one. Huge tackle in over the top from Dylan Tavita, who has led from the front today for Toa Samoa. Taylor Polder with another big carry. He's been fantastic. He's the bookend for the Auckland Māori side. Paki goes to the line. Out the back to Rangi. They're going to spread it. They want the win here, do the Auckland Māori. 10 seconds to go. 50 metres to travel. Is there a drop goal in the offering? Paki goes out the back door. They need to take the tackle quickly. The clock's expired. That might do it. And it's going to finish the end of a thrilling curtain raiser to the 2018 Upright Access Man Cup. And they can't be split after 80 minutes. It is the Auckland Māori Under-20s 24. Toa Samoa Invitational 24. What a game. It ebbed and flowed. It was Toa Samoa who got off to a flyer before the Auckland Māori took a 16-6 lead into the break in the second half. It traded hands a number of times in terms of momentum, but in the end they can't be split, ladies and gentlemen. What a way to start our day here at Mount Smart Stadium. We're now going to take a short break before we get into the build-up for the big one. Auckland versus the Tonga New Zealand residents. Back in a few minutes.
I don't know if you guys are going to be around here. Are you going to be around here? Well, no, Chris is just